Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet, and today, The Mushroom Boy. The Mushroom Boy, you may recall, is a kind of sub-project of Noble Ape. It was developed in the late 90s, in fact around 1997, as a kind of urban terrorism simulator with a young boy who builds, well, he's about 15, who builds a nuclear device and then is being chased around an urban environment by a bunch of other folk that are trying to get the nuclear device from the boy. When I wrote The Mushroom Boy initially, and this is software as opposed to like a novella, I realized that the ability to create almost infinite landscapes, suburban landscapes with a variety of different kinds of houses and trees and roads and all this kind of stuff was really fascinating. And I based it on an economic waveform model which is similar to the way the Noble Ape simulation uses the landscape model to get additional information out. The economic model affected a variety of things. It affected centres of business, but it also affected the size and the shape and the flowing of the houses. You could map over at roads. These are not grid roads. These are roads that are actually applied to the economic wave function to, move money from various centres and these kind of things. And all these components exist in the contemporary Mushroom Boy, but not all of them are equally accessible. My plan prior to the Gorilla of Code was to put more agent modelling into the Mushroom Boy and basically make it very easy for someone who wanted to come to it and add their own agent models or, do their own agent model development to have that in place. Unfortunately, there wasn't enough time leading into the Gorilla of Code to implement that. However, I can start to implement that in the next few weeks with the view that people that come to the Gorilla of Code periodically and look at the various resources will slowly but surely get a sense of where these agent models should go and these kind of things. And really, with a lot of the stuff that I've talked about in terms of proposed projects for the Gorilla of Code, just encouraging students perhaps to go and look in these particular areas, they require students with a great degree of, get up and go, for want of a better term. And I'm relatively mindful that for just some person coming to these projects, with their central part being Noble Ape, this isn't laid out for them in a particularly friendly fashion. There are a variety of audio podcasts, there are some YouTube videos, there's a lot of code there for people to play with. But they're not going to be spoon-fed as much as they may be spoon-fed in other aspects of their lives. And I'm not really clear what a student here, probably an undergraduate or maybe even a graduate student, can do associated with the Noble Ape simulation if they don't have this driving force to actually instigate and, perturb the code in various directions to see what occurs. So it's going to be interesting to see. But the Mushroom Boy as a space, as a kind of mental space with this software, I feel with a lot of my simulation software that it does embody a kind of perceptive space as well. The way the Mushroom Boy is currently laid out is quite bleak. Even though there's a richness environment there, the graphics don't really map too well onto the richness environment. And for this reason, I think it'll take a particular kind of developer to explore this environment. I'm actually really interested in seeing through the Gorilla of Code how these people are placed in terms of what their various proposed projects will be. All this stuff is just wonderfully interesting. And we was talking at the end of last year associated with these things coming up in the future. I was very mindful that this project would potentially take me in a variety of different directions as I interacted with, perhaps nurtured some of the developers that would get involved through the Gorilla of Code. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.